everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night chiropractic conference call, sponsored by DE, sponsored by chiropractic banded brothers around the world. First, I want you to notice my shirt. Got a friend from Georgia. Dr. Chris sent me a awesome Walker Chiropractic shirt as he took care of one of my patients when they were down there visiting. So thank you. I appreciate you, Dr. Walker. And hey, we got a lot of announcements tonight. As you all know, we are almost a month away from the 60-year anniversary of DE. And it's going to be this cram-packed full of a lot of stuff. First, it's at the Atlanta Perimeter Center in Atlanta. It's, if you've not been to the Marriott Perimeter Center, it's different than the one you've been to before. So if you haven't been to a DE, the last one, it's the same spot. Kat and I were talking right before we opened up. We think the hotel is booked. If not completely booked, it's close. So it's time to get registered, and it's time to get your hotel room now. There are definitely hotels around there close, so it's not, but you want to be in the vibration of the building if you at all possibly can. Again, 60th year anniversary, we have a gala. Saturday night is a gala, and you need to get your tickets to the gala. It will book up fast. We were just talking about how fast that's booking up. People are coming in that haven't been to DE for a while, want to go back from down memory lane. So get in there, get signed up for that. There is going to be a casino at the gala. So bring some cash. We're going to raise some money for DE. So I'm a great gambler, and Evan, our speaker, he's a great joke teller. So he's going to tell a bunch of jokes. I'm going to make sure that everybody brings a bunch of money so we can raise money for DE, and we have a heck of a great time at the gala Saturday night. Also, if you can, go to the DE store and look at it, make sure you get registered for the gala and the next DE. Also, if you want to, you can sign up for the journal. It's going to be like a brochure, and so it'll be a memorabilia thing. You can, again, raise some money and donate some money and just say what DE did for you or whatever it is. It's something that'll be there for that they'll celebrate at the 100th anniversary. So you can do that at the DE store. And also, while you're at the DE store, if you want to, make sure you sign up to buy a DE ring. And Kat said they will be there to measure and get you size for it at this DE. So a lot of stuff here coming up because there's a lot of things happening at DE. Tonight's speaker, we were just talking before we came on. He's from Passaic, New Jersey. He joined his dad's practice, and his dad's been practicing since 1987 in the same place. He came out of school. He went to school with a big crew there at Life College. Been out of school 6 years. Hard to believe, because I remember when they were in Tri-1, when Tracer Moore and all that crew, they were just coming and they were just gobbled up the DE principle, and they gobbled up the DE energy, and they've been coming ever since. And he's part of this crew. And it's, again, 6 years, hard for me to believe. Been at his daddy's practice now for 6 years. Let's give it up for our speaker, Evann Sidoti. Evan, take over, brother.
Hello, everybody. Man, Andy was giving me a hard time about telling jokes. So I told him that I don't have any, jokes right offhand, but I always have funny stories and funny things going on. And I'm going to be able to hear you guys laughing through this video right now. So I heard something at DE, and we all hear all these things, but something that really, really spoke to me was, and I don't even know who said it, but they said that you need to work to keep the energy, or work to keep the love and the focus. And I don't know why it kind of hit me different this time. And I know that, but it's like, it's one of those things that you need to be reminded of. And that's a lot about what this talk, what I want to talk about is, most of us know what to do. We just need to keep doing it and put ourselves in an environment, craft our world around us so that it's easy to keep doing what you know you're supposed to do. Okay. Um, so I was with it was right last weekend. I was with George Lupatazzo and Danny Roses, and we actually have a student that came into my office, or someone that was looking into chiropractic, and he just happened to walk into my office, and I was like, wow, what an opportunity here. But he like already had his undergrad, and he's like, yeah, I want to learn about chiropractic. So I brought him out to dinner with Danny and George, like two huge chiropractors. Um, but so funny. As what happens to me when I'm talking to other chiropractors, a lot of times, you know, team comes up. The things in the office come up, and Danny started telling this story of one of his team members that I guess maybe they were like closed for a day, and he wanted her to put something on the wall, like a notice, a flyer, and she put these push pins into the wall of his nice office, and put four holes in his office, and it was just like tearing him up because when he was adjusting, all he could think about was the stupid holes in the wall. And it's something ridiculous, but sometimes, like, our mental state of can be that fragile. And it's everybody has those little things that can just kind of tick them off, or and then they have these other huge things that don't bother them at all. So I don't want to make fun of Danny too much, but he was like he was stressing about having this conversation with the CA because he didn't want to piss her off because she put the things in the wall. But like, that little thing becomes a big thing, because if you can't stay focused on the person in front of you because you're worrying about stupid little holes in the wall, that that's a big problem. Um, George is he's always asking me, "Are you having fun?" He's like, every time I see this guy, he's like, "Are you having fun in practice? Are you having a good time?" And I'm usually having a good time, but I've been thinking about now I'm seeing Danny getting angry at these little holes in the wall, and there's like parallels to things in my life, or in my office, that may not seem big to anybody else, but if they're big to me, then the patients can feel that. And a Wace a few DEs ago, he said this. He said, "The secret to a high volume practice is a low volume mind." That's what I wrote down. I was like, huh, that's really something. And how do you get? And you have to work. Going back to how I started, you have to work to keep that energy, and work to keep a low volume mind. And Dr. Sid will talk about the 49 breaths and recentering. And I think that I have been very, very fortunate to meet a great group of guys in chiropractic school, like Andy was saying, and they are always great at getting me recentered, and with a phone call, and a phone call, or at DE, or a text, or anything. Um, but I think in a day of practice, because you're interacting with so many people, you need to have you need to be able to get refocused over and over and over again, because the patients, the people you're serving, they're gonna get you off track, and you can't let one person's energy bring you off. Like, one person's bad energy affect the next person. You got to wash it off between each and every person. And the thing that makes a practice run is all those little things in the background. In order to be focused entirely on the person, you need to know that everything else is going properly, and you need to have a team a team that supports that. And Edwin Cordero, every time he goes up, he's talking about leadership, team, and all of these things. That always resonates with me. I think his book came out. I might have a copy of it in my email, but I gotta buy it. He told me I should buy it, so I gotta buy it. Um, but you know, in DE, we are a group of loving people, and going back to keeping focused and keeping your energy, you need to be able to continue to love into people that are going to accept your love and accept your grace. And a big this big thing that's been going on with me is you can't keep pouring the love into people that aren't taking it in, and they're just like an empty void of energy that you put in, but they never come back, and they never give that energy back. And in my head, I'm like, oh, the DEWay's got to give and love, do, and a sense of your own abundance. Where does that abundance come from? And for me, that abundance is coming from my friends, my family, my father, and that was re-energizing me at the end of every day. Um, but what I'm working on now, this is going to be the thing, slowly, is if you have an off day in your office, does your team call you out? Do they say, what's going on, doc? You're off today. When you explained that to that patient, you could have done better. Because we all need to be checked. We all need someone to help keep us accountable. And right now, that's what I'm going through. It's like, are you the drive? It's really, really hard to be that driving force of absolutely everything in the office all the time. And if you can find people that put, take up the slack when maybe you're having an off day, that's what I think, that's huge. And that's right now where I'm getting my team at. And I'm really, really excited about that. um I was listening to Dr. Sid today, as one does when you got your DE talk. And he was talking about turning the dials. And Dr. Sid talks a lot about turning the dials. And there are so many dials to turn, and each dial is different for each person in each situation. So, some person might just be a jerk, and they're not loving enough, or they're not giving enough love to this person. But somebody else, and I feel like I'm in this situation, so I'm giving the love to the wrong person, and that's taking my love away from the people that need it. And I think it's important to pay attention to those people that are like in the inner circle, and especially in the office, for me, is if you need those people that are going to push you back on. And if one team member's off, you have another team member that's on top of them, because they're all on the mission. We all have the same values, and they all see that you're doing a great work, and you can't come down. Just like Nehemiah and Edwin Cordero said, um, it's really, really important. That's where I'm at right now. And that's the lesson that I've been learning and relearning. Sometimes you have these gut feelings. Uh, you can call it listening to your innate or God, or you hear these things, and you can listen to it the first time. Really, 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 really profound. You don't need to wait until the 50th time or the 100th time that you hear the same thing, you know? And God is going to keep testing you with the same lessons and the same challenges until until you learn it. And, it's like a lot of times the best way to love someone is to love them from afar. And, when you hear that message, I think a lot of people hear it. And what gets complicated is that when you make that decision or you listen to that voice, things are going to get harder first. And then they get easier. And I think a lot of times you need to have the courage to deal with the hard thing. Um, and in figuring out, like, there's different situations. And I've been talking about this with Joe a lot. And is this a situation that you need to push through? Do you need to keep pouring into this thing, this person, or do you need to move past this? Right? When I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, I was thinking like a tree, right? Sometimes we try to keep going straight through the tree when the best thing to do is just to walk around the tree. And it's really stupid, but like, I think the more experience you get and the more you learn about you, then you learn what trees to push through and what trees to walk around. And that's when you can look up at people and it seems like it's easy. And it becomes easier, I'm sure. But then, then there's going to be a new thing that comes up. And it's like long days, sleepless nights, and it's always going to be worth it. The work is worth it. Shedding the husks is worth it. And yeah, that's what I got for today.
Long days and sleepless nights, but the work is worth it. That's a drop the mic moment there, bro. Good job. Good job. Also remember, or also hearing, God's going to keep giving me the challenges till I learn. Love that. And then again, Oasis, we'll steal it from Oasis. A high volume practice, the best way to get it is a low volume mind. That was fantastic. I love it, brother. I love it. I love it. Love it. Something we didn't mention before we opened. I want to make sure, if we could, let's just take a moment. Everybody, if you don't mind, join me and just see the Dobbs family, Denise Dobbs, Ryan Dobbs, and their children. See them peaceful. See them at peace. Letting them allow God to love them through this week, this month, this challenge that they're going through. Keep them in your prayers every day if you don't mind. I love it. Appreciate you all. Have a great night. Evan, you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.